And you only have one child? Okay, if we were to break down
that he knows of. Let's just go ahead and
what
put
was that? How will you know?
Well, he knocked me up and left for a year. So, I mean, there might be some other women out there
Wait a minute, in fairness,
that may not be able to count how many partners they've been with, but I know it was his kid.
Okay, everyone, this is going to be a messy one. After being absent from his children's lives for nearly a year, Dustin is now attempting to return, but the catch is that he is unable to pay child support, so he offers to pay for daycare instead. This seems reasonable to him, but Sarah wants both child support and daycare because, let's face it, the system always seems to favor the mother. Will the court rule in her favor, or will logic finally prevail? Let's dissect it, prevail, and let me know if you need any adjustments.
Okay. Is it Miss or Mrs. Cheney?
Mrs.
Cheney.
Remarried.
You brought this case before the court. What's going on?
So, we were friends. We went out for drinks after a promotion, and everybody else left. It left us two. Had a little too much to drink. Anyway, I ended up pregnant. He's completely out of the picture. Doesn't answer text calls, whatever. All of a sudden, he comes to me and says he wants to be a part of our kid's life. And I said, okay, well, you're going to have to give me child support. I'm not just going to let you all of a sudden be dad, you know. And
how old is the child?
He's 18 months.
Okay.
18 months, yep.
Okay, continue.
Oh, I'm sorry. So he's like, well, I can't pay child support, but I'll pay the daycare bill. Daycare's $8.55 a month. Okay. He claims he only makes $24,000 a year. That adds up to almost half his income, if that's what he actually said. I mean, this is not the way a guy who lives a life of $24,000. I mean, that suit probably costs like, I don't know, half that or something.
He has a nice suit.
I shop clearance.
Okay.
I do pretty well on sales.
He shops on clearance.
Okay. I've never seen that suit at JCPenney, but all right.
Okay. So $855 a month in daycare. You say you make $24,000 a year.
$24,000 a year, that is
And
correct.
I do have his tax returns that he produced showing $24,000 a year, but you're self-employed?
That is correct.
So you did your own tax return?
I do, yes.
So is it accurate? Or did you manipulate it?
If you're questioning if I'm being honest in my tax returns,
Yes.
I am being honest in my tax returns, Your Honor.
Okay. And I can only go based off of what he produces. Living wise, do you live with someone?
I'm in an apartment sharing situation right now with the money I make every month, and with basically close to half of my salary going to pay for daycare for our child. I've got to share. I can't afford my own place on my own.
Okay. And living expenses, they're shared between your roommates?
Pretty much we kind of split the groceries, things like that. Utilities get split evenly.
Okay. Well, then that kind of makes sense. So you're asking, what exactly are you?
According to Sarah, she and Dustin went out for drinks one evening, and then one thing led to another, and she became pregnant. However, instead of taking action, Dustin vanished for a full year, and now, suddenly, he wants to be involved in his children's lives. Here's the worst part. Dustin first agreed to pay for daycare, which costs a whopping $850 a month, but now he's saying he only makes $20,000 a year and can't afford it. He's not even living alone, so he's splitting rent to make ends meet. He's asking for a reduction, but Sarah isn't buying it. She wants child support and for Dustin to continue paying daycare. Will the court be sympathetic to Dustin's plight, or is he going to suffer even more financial setbacks? Let's take a look at it.
Point is that it seems kind of sketchy that he can afford almost $900 a month in daycare, but won't pay child support. I feel like there's something going on with the money situation. There's got to be a reason why he's doing things the way he does.
So you want him to pay $855 in daycare and child support?
I mean, he wants to be a part of his life.
That wasn't my question.
Okay.
Do you want him to pay $855 in daycare as well as pay child support on top of that?
I want us to be able to talk and discuss and find a number that works for both of us and that I think is fair.
Okay.
Just because I make more money than him doesn't mean I should be covering all of the child's expenses. $8.55 is daycare.
I definitely agree with that. I agree with that. So what is the middle ground that you're looking for? Because legally he cannot pay daycare and child support. I mean, you can't have it both ways. So what would be a middle ground for you?
I guess we'd have to kind of discuss what would be child support versus daycare and how the parental responsibilities would change. Would he get them on weekends? Would he get them on holidays? Things like that. So, because he doesn't live real close either, you know.
Well, we're here today, so let's discuss it. Like I said, he cannot pay daycare on top of child support. It just can't happen. So if you were to give him a number that's in between the 24,000 because when you break that down based on child support for one child, it's not a lot of money. So if you were, let's say it's about $300 in child support. If you add that to $855, you're talking about child support in excess of $1,000. Are you asking that he pay $1,000 in child support?
I guess not exactly.
Well, I'm still trying to figure out why you're here and what you're asking me to do.
I guess I'm just trying to figure out what to do with the situation with him. I don't have a law degree. I don't have a lawyer. I don't know exactly how these things work.
Okay. And I'm helping you guys as much as I can.
Yeah, so I didn't know that you couldn't do daycare and child support. And I don't know I've never had child support before. I have no idea. I don't know, what you can do, what you can't do, what happens with visitation and stuff like that. He was absent the entire first year. Completely absent. So I paid 100% of everything. He was in the hospital after he was born. I took care of those bills.
And you didn't give her any money?
Not at that point, Your Honor, no.
What was the reason for that?
I was effectively in the same situation I am now. Again, being self-employed, my income has not gone up. There was a little bit of a disconnect between the two of us. I probably, looking back, should have stepped in sooner, and that's all I'm trying to do now.
Okay.
I want to have a relationship with our son. The amount I'm paying on a monthly basis is already, again, 45% or so.
It's a lot.
Of my income. I don't know the percentages, etc., what I'm required to do. I feel I'm already stepping up, and by paying the full daycare, as far as I know, and I've talked to some friends, I'm paying more than I actually have to.
He actually is. Because if we were to break down, based on what it is that he makes, if we were to break down, and you only have one child?
Yeah.
Okay, if we were to break down...
That he knows of. Let's just go ahead and put that.
What was that? How will you know?
Well, he knocked me up and left for a year. So, there might be some other women out there.
Wait a minute. In fairness...
that may not be able to count how many partners they've been with, but I know it was his kid.
In fairness, he wasn't alone in knocking you up.
I get that. And I took 100% responsibility for that child for a full 12 months. Okay.
Let's not blame it all on him. You have one child, correct? Okay, so let's stick to what is in front of us. We're not worried about any other children that may be out there. So based on the financial documents that he provided at 20%, his child support should only be about $300.
Okay, here's where it gets crazy. Judge V shuts Sarah down, telling her bluntly that what she's requesting isn't even feasible because, well, it doesn't add up. Sarah is making some serious accusations, claiming that it's suspicious that Dustin can afford daycare, but somehow can't pay child support. In all honesty, she has a point. Just because she makes more money doesn't mean she should cover everything fairly. Sarah continues to insist that Dustin hasn't given her any money outside of daycare. But let's face it, the man is actually paying half of his salary for his children's upbringing. When Judge Vonda inquires as to whether this is Dustin's only child, Sarah responds sarcastically that he is aware of, making him appear even worse. She even asserts that since he vanished for a year, he has likely done the same to other women, making him seem like a serial deadbeat. Please share your opinions in the comments section and let's continue.